Today on Sketch-A-Day, we're gonna be sketching desks just like this. Hey guys, welcome to Sketch-A-Day. I'm Spencer, where every day I give you something new and hopefully interesting to you to sketch and draw and learn about, all that good stuff. I just love drawing, that's my thing. I've been a designer for over a decade now, and I just love drawing. If this is your first time, be sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on alerts, and come find me on the socials. I'm easy to find. But most importantly, sign up for my newsletter at sketchaday.com/newsletter. So today I'm going to be taking a request, actually. Thank you so much for your comments that you leave on my videos. And this request is from YouTube user Adam Goulet. Adam Goulet, thank you so much for submitting this. Or is it Adam Goulet? I'm not sure. In any case, we're going to be sketching a desk. And a little bit of back and forth with Adam, we decided on something that's kind of an IKEA style powered desk that you could elevate a bit higher and lower. So it should be fairly simple. We're going to be focusing on a simple presentation sketch with some markers. So grab what you have. If you need materials, you can always peep the description in the video below. I try to be consistent and put them there, so you'll want to check. But if all you have is your own pen and paper, that's totally fine too. So with that, let's get started. Whenever I'm sketching something new, I like to usually have reference, but this is something that I feel I am familiar with enough that I can just go for it. That being said, as I'm referencing my memory, I will still use something like this gray marker to kind of map out and plan out my sketch. So I do know that this desk or table is going to have some sort of top. So I'll start by sketching that in and perhaps outlining a bit of where the legs might go. Now I can immediately tell, because of how I've sketched this, that the perspective is a little bit off. So that's one of the benefits of working light until you get it right. Now I will do another view here as well on this page, and we'll keep it super sketchy today. But again, working light until you get it right. I think that's one of the best ways you can work, especially if you aren't sure of which way your sketch is going to go or design, or you're kind of mulling over some details. Okay, so for example, let's say I decided, you know what, I don't really want to do my legs this way. I want to have something more robust, perhaps still adjustable. We can still move this desk up and down, but perhaps we want to change the leg style. I can do that because I am working fairly light. With this other sketch, I can do the same thing. Now that I've established the base geometry, we can go in and make changes as necessary. And with sketch pages, I always like to try and fill the page. So if this were, a real sketch page for some real concepts, I would make an effort to, as much as possible, just fill out the page so that there's a lot of visual information on the page, and it kind of rounds things out and fills it out so that the viewer can really see your process, and if there's a story to be told, have some flow in the way things are laid out. So maybe this sketch is showing a 2 position to the desk. I can have that in the same sketch. I could do that on this one as well. Again, just working light with the gray marker to kind of establish and set things up as we begin. Now the next step for this, since this is a composition, I want to kind of create some rhythm or flow to the page, and I can do that with line weight and color and levels of finish as well. So for this main sketch, I'll start by just kind of working out the line weight. I have enough of an indication of what's happening from my gray marker here. So now this part of the process is really just about making sure that I have the right intent carried through in my line work as I go. Something like that for the legs, for example. Construction lines never hurt, so if you need to use it, that's totally fine. As long as you're aware of the audience to whom you're going to be showing this, I think it's okay to include and leave those construction lines, as long as they're going to be able to understand the purpose of those lines, why they're there, and so forth. So that's something you can certainly do. in your sketches. Just adding a little shadow here on this sketch just to round out the presentation of this one. And I'll move over to our swivel adjustable concept here. So I could show the desk in 2 positions, but I think what I'm going to do here is actually just leave it as an open position, but show that this came, or rather fits, into a little bit of a recess. Okay, so you can imagine this desk folding down. Okay, and I've drawn this arrow just to indicate the movement there. And we can finish out our legs. Depending on the sketch, I like to keep the details loose, especially if it's generally an overview of the concept, rather than focusing on the details, because if I wanted to show the details on these legs, for example, it would make more sense that I draw them a bit larger than I have here. So that's why I've left the detail fairly minimal on these legs, and just trying to focus on overall effect and placement. So again, the nice thing about working in gray marker is if I decide to change something along the way as I'm working on my lines, I can easily do that just by drawing it in. It's just that easy and that simple. So if you're, again, not confident or feeling great about the direction of your presentation, illustration, or whatnot, definitely consider working light until you get it right, or when in doubt, rough it out. It saved me a lot of heartache over the years and has helped me just kind of chill out as I'm drawing. The other thing to remember is there's always a fix. So if you're drawing and you make a mistake, there's always a fix for that sketch, and sometimes the fix is just starting over, and that's really just the worst case, but it is still a fix in effect. So telling myself those things has kind of helped me over the years just chill out and not be too stressed out about the process of drawing. Okay, so now I have my line work kind of placed here, and I'm going to focus on maybe these 2 sketches because of the scale and placement as far as finishing things out. So this one I'm going to make my number 2 sketch. This one will be my number 1 sketch. What I mean by that is the sketch to the right here, I'm going to make sure that I have the most detail, line work, or line weight rather, and emphasis. And this sketch will kind of balance out the visual weight of and complexity of this sketch by having the appropriate level of detail. Now, because I know what I'm doing, I'm actually starting with the gray on this side and just focusing on the legs. You know, maybe they're some sort of metal leg, for example, and maybe blocking in the shadow as well. I'm using a C10 copic marker here, and this is marker paper. I do like to sketch on marker paper if I have some handy. It just has a much better feel to it than your regular printer paper, and I knew I was using markers, so I didn't want to waste my markers by using printer paper. But it's always handy to have some cheap markers. If you have them, you can always use those on your printer paper sketches if you have those. Looks like I kind of made a mistake here just in the placement of the shadow, so I'm going to fix that just by filling in this portion and continuing to fill in here. But it's okay, like I said, there's always a fix. You can pivot as you draw. I make mistakes all the time when I'm drawing, but a lot of drawing is really just learning how to work with your mistakes and, you know, ending up with something presentable and reasonable. So kind of fix the shadow. It's a little bit off in the back now, but that's okay. Don't tell your mom, she won't know. So, and neither will most people. I feel like drawing is a lot like magic in that there is an element of sleight of hand at times where you're like, look here, look away from the main mistake, and if you understand how to do that, you can really guide someone through an illustration or drawing in a way that creates an impression of finishedness, completeness, doneness, and mastery. So that's just something you kind of have to learn with experience, and figure out what works for you and adopt that style. Okay, so now I'm going to work on a tabletop. I haven't really tried these brown markers, so let's see how this goes. This one's a little bit light, but I wanted the top of this table to be wood, so I'm just going to shade this in with this marker. This is a Copic E97 marker, and so the idea here is I'm shading in a way that is meant to mimic what you might find in wood grain. Okay, so a little bit wavy, streaky. Okay, so that's the first step, and hopefully you can kind of see it has that appearance of being wood-like. And now I'm gonna just test this marker and see how dark it is, this E25. Okay, this will probably work. And now I'm gonna add a couple other lines, streaks, and so forth to now create this wood-like texture on the top of the table. Okay, maybe a little grain here if it's kind of a plywood or something like that. You could even throw in a knot if you want to mix things up. Okay, something like that. But the idea is to create the impression of the texture so that if someone were looking at your sketch, they could easily understand, oh, this is wood. Now, I'm not going so far as identifying the specific species of wood or anything like that. I think it's probably taking it a little bit too far, because a sketch is really just a snapshot of the idea rather than a completely accurate representation of the idea, and the goal being to communicate design intent in a quick and efficient way. So for me, this is probably as much as I would do for this wood top, and we'll go ahead and clean up some of our lines here and shading as well, just with some gray marker. Get our shadow in because we want to balance this out. Maybe add a little bit of color. We'll see how things go here. So I'm going to use a C8 for this shadow in the front, and we'll kind of build up in value if necessary, or rather as needed. Okay, nice consistent strokes down, quick. And this shadow is more of a drop shadow versus a cast shadow from a light source. Just shading this in with the wide portion of the chisel marker, and this allows me to cover ground fairly quickly. Because light never truly hits a surface completely evenly, I like to kind of have a little bit of gradient in my shadow if possible. What I mean by that is here my strokes are a bit more concentrated together in the middle section under the tabletop, and as I move to the edges, just kind of fading out a little bit. Okay. And it just helps you create a bit more dynamic sketch than having a static area that's completely filled in. Now for these metal legs and tray, I'm just going to hit it with some 30% gray just to communicate the material. As an added hit, if this is a product sketch presentation, you'll definitely want to annotate things. So if this is, say, a maple top, we can add notes, maple. If we want to say that it's adjustable, we can add another note, say adjustable, hope I spelled this right, adjustable angle. Okay. So maybe those are our two notes. This little arrow here, I'm just gonna beef up the line weight with my Papermate flare here. Maybe a little shadow on the back side of this arrow, like so, to give it some depth. A few bits of stippling on the tabletop as an element of texture. And I do want to make this shadow under the arrow just a little darker, so using that copic marker to kind of emphasize that a bit. And so there's my quick sketch of a simple desk using copic markers, Papermate Flare, and some decent marker paper. Like I said, if you start light until you get it right, it's actually fairly easy to then take your concept and work through the details and come up ultimately with a decent presentation sketch. Well, thanks for joining me here at Sketch a Day, and thank you so much for the submission. I always appreciate ideas, so you can leave those in the comments or hit me up on Instagram or just shoot me an email, spencer@sketchaday.com. Be sure to hit subscribe, turn on alerts, and definitely come back, tell your friends, your wife, your kids, everyone that I'm here and I'm drawing every day. Well, thanks for watching. I had fun and I hope you did, and we'll see you guys next time right here on Sketch a Day.